What are we after next?
You're not even gonna acknowledge the fact that you just came back from a beautiful 1-week vacation in a very nice island.
No, I had a great time. It was beautiful, beautiful weather, 85 degrees every day.
Yeah,
Enjoyed it a little bit. We had a lot of fun.
I can understand that. We have a mess behind us, don't we?
Well, it's a tractor that's in pieces, but it'll be going back together here shortly.
We definitely got a pretty good parts list. What did the final parts bill just from Deere come in at, like 4?
I think it was around 4 or 45, somewhere in that area.
And we know no matter what, because now we're going after the final drives and the housings. There'll be a little more added to that, but I mean, okay, better than what we originally thought. Originally it was over under 10K. We haven't filled out our chart yet, but we'll get there. Yeah,
it's getting closer every day.
Okay.
The longer I'm here, the closer it gets.
It does. That's all right. But the end goal is to hopefully have a tractor we never touch again, right? Like fingers crossed. That's the goal. A week and a half, 2 weeks ago when you're here, we dismantled all of this, but now we still got the actual pinion gear in the rear end, and you're going to pull that out today, right?
We're going to pull the differential up and we'll see what the pinion looks like. Check the bearings on it, make sure that the bearings are in good shape. And then, of course, we have excessive backlash right now. So I'll just remove some shims, look at the bearings, make sure we haven't got wear on the bearings. If they look like they're worn, then we put bearings on. Hopefully, just a matter of re-shimming and resetting.
Because for the most part, we can dismantle this, or let me rephrase that. You can dismantle this in a couple hours, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We'll get that off, look at the differential lock plates while we're in there. I think we have new plates coming on the order already. So we'll be putting all that in new, just to be, so we don't have to go back into it. Okay.
The camera this way. This is a little different headache, isn't it? That tight. 3/4 inch air.
Try it.
What? This is about right. You're taller.
Okay.
This is gonna be heavy. Yeah, this is one of the hardest moments. There we go. We just go to the ground.
Oh, almost did. Go to the ground.
Over. There we go.
It's a heavy chunk.
The next one we'll do smoother.
This is actually the way that John Deere says you're supposed to do it, is with these pullers, and I've never built one in 40 years. Usually got wheels off anyway. So now I'm going to try and figure out what to use for pulling. Made from 1/2 inch rod, 24 inches long, bended as shown and welded at joint. And I've never built one in.
Then you come over here.
And then,
then you come here, and well, we've had that a few times.
The axle housing came off very easy. We got the planetary out. The axle housing actually slid off very nice. And now we just got to get inner or outer bearing and seal and spacer pulled off of the axle so we can install the new ones together.
The goal with that is, right now, it's the easiest way to do it. Because if you do it with still on the tractor, you got to break the
take the dual hubs, dual driver, and this one's got fluid in it, so.
They don't like to come apart that easy. So this is actually a nicer way. And then kind of a mindset is, I got a chunk of re-rod. This is actually brake chamber. This and then the two sticking out. 30-30 brake canister off a truck, just lucks out. We just got lucky that this is the right
pitch. The same size.
Yeah, yeah. That's the kind of luck we seem to have here. There's many times we're scratching our head going, how are we going to do this? And then, you know, we just keep walking around and stumbling on stuff and like, hey, this might work.
And then figure it out.
And we figured it out.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to see the bearing on the other side.
Good. I'll just look over there. Are you gonna dismantle this? Okay.
Nothing left of the bearing.
No, I'm grateful to see that because that means it'll be better going back together.
The excessive backlash we had, the chunk of metal we found in there before.
Yeah.
Found where it was.
Nice.
Look at there. Look at that.
And that's all on that right side.
The right hand side. So, what we're looking at is you're gonna have to replace the quill because the bearing fits too loose in it. I would imagine when the metal got into it, it
Yep.
did this. Because you look at how much metal has gone out of that baby.
Yep. But we're still under our 10 grand mark.
Yeah, look how much.
Nice. No, there's a nice way of looking at this. And the way we choose to look at it, it didn't grenade on us.
Yeah, and it didn't take a ring and pinion. And that's probably why you got the little pits, because you had excessive backlash, so it was riding out further than it should have. My plan is on the other side, 2 sealing rings are supposed to ride. This is supposed to be a smooth surface for these 2 sealing rings to ride in there for your differential lock. How it ran so loose, it actually ate into this casting. So we got to replace both bearing quills. You can see the wear pattern. That should be 100% smooth.
All right. Have you priced those out lately?
No, I have not.
All right.
But I think
About $1,000.
I'm thinking we can get, if we've got to get other parts out of
Worthington?
Worthington, about these 2 quills too.
Yeah.
We're adding to the parts list.
That's okay.
Can you put it together?
That's what I'm gonna put it on there and then try. There we go. Now go down.
Right speed.
Yep, you're good. There. Where's this place?
Okay. Sure. So we look
I got it.
back together and
Smart ass.
A little bar.
out of the transmission. He goes, you should, before we put oil in, you should just pull that out and clean it. So what? Like,
It's been running for, yeah,
fine.
it's been spinning for quite a while.
It's not from anything yet.
Loosen the cover yet too.
They bought it fixed. And then,
Okay. Differential lock plates. Nice.
How does this tractor have the best linings we've ever seen?
There's hardly any. I think I've got these ordered already.
Yep, nope, that's fine.
They've got somewhere, but they're not worn out.
But by the time you try and squeeze it in, you almost bend it out of shape. And those don't look like either the top nor the bottom.
Find your washer. They look nice.
Now, what's really cool is when you see the crosses. Hard to believe that's spinning around all day, every day.
So typically when you're driving in a straight forward with the tractor, these are going to be stationary. The differential's turning, these will be stationary. When one wheel starts to spin, the output changes. If one wheel's going faster than the other, the output changes, and that's when your differential spider gears are going to spin to make up for that. Otherwise, you would be driving in a straight line continuously, like having a differential locked in place.
Any of your friends have the spider gears welded in a vehicle? Do you ever drive one? It is kind of fun. It's horrible, but it's also a lot of fun.
It takes all the power to the ground, that's for sure.
Yeah, you'll feel it turning.
That's basically the way a differential works. Now we're going to disassemble. And this one doesn't have the washers like the 55 series did. Remember those brass
Yep.
washers that went on the back side? This is just metal against metal.
Because that actually is on the 6030, what we had a problem with. The spider gears had worn into the casting. So I remember I had to find, because I think in Parts World they call it the cross. I was trying to find a cross, and I did find one.
And once you get the center one out, this one comes out. And you can get your other spiders out. And your last gear. Housings all look perfect. We'll replace thrust washers just to keep, as the thrust washer wears, it allows more clearance between the spider gears and this. So you'll get them where they'll start to ride up on the top edges. So I try to replace these every time. Because at even 10 thousandths, you put 10 off of that, 10 off of that, that's 20 thousandths. That's how much more of those teeth are gonna ride away from the spiders. So, good idea to replace them. There.
So what's in there, sealing ring?
Yep, sealing ring on the piston.
Gotcha.
The hydraulic port that's in the quill that's on here. So what that does, it sends hydraulic oil pressure through to the housing to lock this disc, to lock the differential plates together.
Gotcha.
Pretty sure I have those ordered also. Okay, that's the part that's... In order to get that out, we gotta get PTO out of the way.
So the big heavy shaft is coming out.
It's going to, but first, this big gear on the front has to come off. This is why on a 40 series, you can't pull the shaft out the back like you can a 50 series. Remember on the 50
Yep.
series? You can pull it out with the splines. This one you can't because you got a gear that's pressed on to the shaft. So this has to come off first, pull the gear off of it, then the shaft will go out the back end.
And that is a 40 series PTO shaft.
Now
Dang.
that that's out of the way, now we get the shield.
Just coarse enough?
Or something.
Yeah, well, we both know at this point bearings are cheap.
Bearings and races, because we're getting this anyway.
Yep.
Put new races into it.
And stock chopper to grain cart to spreader, it's gonna be, the PTO is gonna get used, so, yep. What do they call those?
Park Paul.
Part paw, okay.
Park Paul goes right in against the...
And stops the gear.
Yep.
Gotcha. What's going on right now? We're dismantling the rear tub. What would you actually call it at this point? Like, this is where I get lost to words because Deere might call it something different than truck shops would, but.
Reduction gear train.
Okay.
Tip the official term for it. All your gear reduction, because your power comes out through the top gear, goes down against the center. These are the two little slippers that ride into this
And
to engage it and disengage it out of tow, excuse me, out of tow.
gotcha.
It'll lock. Once I get this other gear out, it'll be pretty evident.
Because the simple explanation right now, what we're doing is we're dismantling so we can get the pinion out. We already got the ring out, but we're trying to get the pinion out. And there's 2 or 3 little gears right there that we got to take out. And it looks like Larry's having all the fun right now.
Oh, it laid down in there on me instead of coming up this way. Okay. That is a reduction gear tree. When you put it into tow, it comes off of that gear so it can't drive. And when it's driving, it's just like that.
Pretty neat.
Little slippers.
So all that weight and force just goes through those little two.
Yes. And all the engine horsepower that goes from there to the wheels goes through this right here.
That's always what blows my mind, because even like when you look at like clutch packs and stuff, most vehicles, semis are the same way. You got 6 to 8 bolts. All the power goes through the 6 to 8 bolts from the crankshaft to that, you know, and it takes it.
All the any power that comes out, this is what drives it, is that little right there.
Pretty cool. Do those usually come out pretty easy? Yeah, you can see it coming out of the cone.
And there'll be shims obviously between that and that. That's everything.
It really doesn't get much more empty than this, does it?
Nope. Other than the dirt now.
Yeah.
Good.
Those are the shims.
These are the shims, and these are, we go by the number etched on the end of the pinion shaft. And that's, and you take that number less, I gotta look in the book, but there's a formula that they use to set up, and that's how you know how much shim pack to put in, so that your cone point comes out correctly and the depth of this bearing will be the correct depth. 9.504?
Yep.
9.504, and you take that, the minus shim pack, you take that and you subtract it from the number that's written in the book. I think it's 499.
Okay. So that's why every ring and pinion, or every pinion has that gear in it, or that number.
That's why they're a matched set
Okay.
between ring and pinion, because you have to add, otherwise your pinion shaft could sit into the
Yep.
or not deep enough, and you're not going to have full mesh on your teeth, that they'll be running like this.
Sure.
Like excess backlash.
And then have premature wear.
Yep.
Okay. Kind of cool.
And your transmission tub is basically empty.
Okay, when you get to this point and there's like literally physically almost nothing left in that tub, do you ever get overwhelmed? Because like I look at this and I'm just like, oh, thank God I don't gotta try and put this back together.
I think I remember. We'll try.
That's a good answer. I'll take that. Well, this right here is what's amazed us for years about Larry. You and I see just a tabletop filled with gears and clutch discs and nuts and bolts, and neither you nor me know how it goes all together. Like, not a clue. Like, I watched Larry take it apart, I still have no idea how it actually goes back together. But luckily, he understands how it all goes back together. That's the main thing. That's why we're cringing the day he doesn't answer his phone, because he's retired.
Oh, we got some time.
You're used to this, but I'll tell you, man, for someone like myself who, yeah, I do some things that are mechanical, but not this in-depth and specialty, when you look at all of the nuts and bolts that are out of this and all the different things, it's slightly overwhelming.
A little overwhelming. There's lots of pieces.
One step at a time, right?
Yeah.
I think the motor is less overwhelming for me than something like this.
Yeah, the motor's a motor. I mean, you've been into one motor.
In a lot of ways, yeah, a lot of stuff, even if it carries over from a gas, it carries over to a diesel. You know, there's nothing that, so like literally oil pressure, the engine's building a pump and pumps oil from that pump in the front of the motor all the way down to back here, and then that's what causes all of this to drive forward. Basically, yes.
Hydraulic pressure and that little pump up C1 and C2 also sends all the oil to your main hydraulic system. So once transmission is satisfied, and it sends oil to the main hydraulic pump to get your hydraulics to work for the raising and lowering your hydraulics, power steering, power brakes.
Like I said, slightly overwhelming. Glad there's smarter people than me in the world. Okay, so what we're actually working on here is we're trying to pull the 3-point arms off, 2-point arms off, so we can go after the load sensing. What do they call it? Load
Well, that's a load control. Well, you load control shaft, yeah.
Load control shaft. But just our luck. The farmer in South Dakota didn't use a 3-point at all, so it's all froze up, rusted up, and we're trying to get it apart. Yeah. Good news is, this isn't the worst way to end a day, right? Like, we're already past the big expensive parts. Now we're just kind of like, let's just try to end it well. Don't touch none of it. That's gonna be hot for a while. Okay, yeah, brass. That one was one of mine and yours, wilder adventures, because I know I was melting those rings.
Look at our ball in there, Eric. Get a picture of that. Or the lack thereof.
Yep. Oh, good call. Yeah, the other side's no better. Tractor made it to the right farm. Larry's packing up his truck because he's getting ready to go. How do you actually describe what we all got done today? Yeah, that's what $7,000 looks like. Nice. Wow. What's scary is the parts in the truck are worth more than the truck.
Front and back.
Yep. Because it's funny, our day one seems like we got way more accomplished than day two, and it always does. Day one, you know, we got B1, B2 clutch pack out, and C3, right?
Yes.
We got that cut.
B1, B2, B3, B4.
We got that clutch out. We got the rock shaft off. We got the axles off. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, we got skid loader running around. I mean, we got all that done. Today was one of those days where it's like, okay, you pulled the ring and pinion, and don't get me wrong, that took hours, but I mean, it just wasn't nearly as much to show as the first day.
Fortunately, because we found some really rough-looking bearings on the differential housing.
Well, we're still headed towards that 10K mark, yeah.
It's getting closer. We're working at it.
Yeah. Oprah says you got to set a goal.
No, so we got differential all apart. We got the bearing quills that hold the bearings to the differential were bad. So we got those, we're gonna be trying to get those. PTO, we got that all, the PTO shaft out, load shaft out, ring and pinion out. All this stuff that just takes time.
On the load shaft, we fought the one arm because the cup or the ball inside was junk.
Yeah.
You know, just some of the stuff was just more age related than anything. Age, rust, not being used a whole lot, but not a bad day. I mean, we got a lot of stuff apart. Basically, it's crazy looking at how empty that tub is. Like,
It's now it can be cleaned.
yeah. Yep.
So yeah, it's totally everything is disassembled now. We can get the parts list together for the rest of the parts that we need, because there'll be several different bearings that we've got to order yet, and go from there.
Yeah. I'm happy. We'll see. It'll be interesting when we add up all the parts list, just how close to that 10K mark.
I think we're going to get really close.
Yeah, but look at everything we have done. I mean, ring and pinion, load. I mean,
Axles. You know, if we're doing the other side of the axle, we can.
what do you think? Just bearings and seals. I mean, when you just figure in bearings, it'll be interesting just to know the number on just bearings and
We'll have
seals.
just over $1,000 just in bearings.
Yeah.
And bearing seals, yeah, because the big stuff, we didn't have any real big parts in this order. It was
Yeah, line seals,
brake
friction
linings,
discs.
you know, brake linings, rivets,
Yep.
gasket seals, O-rings, drive discs.
Yeah.
That was all we had there.
It was cool seeing the truck just full of parts. like
Got the
oh,
whole front end full.
yeah. Back end, there's parts for the finisher. So yeah. All right, cool.
With that-
I know you're trying to get out of here. Have fun. Thank you.
Yep.